Hello. It's Wednesday. It is the best day of the week because it is new comic book day. And I am here with two comic picks for you this week. The first of which is The Return of Wolverine by Marvel. And the second is Olivia Twist by Dark Horse Comics, Berger Books. This is a 1 of 4, but let's start with the mutants. You knew I was going there, huh? Yeah, alright. So you knew we'd be starting here, right? We've been here before. I love mutants, I'm not afraid to say so, and it was just 4 short years ago that Marvel killed one of the most famous mutants, Logan, aka Wolverine. Now, don't think I just knew that off the top of my head. I had to Google it because it feels like it has been a long time since I've seen actual Logan. There's been Old Man Logan, and then as you know, X-23 Laura Kinney took up the Wolverine name. Now she's got her own spin-off. I reviewed that before. Very cute, honey badger. I'm into it. But hi, Logan's back. We missed you. We need you. He's back. And he's back with the bang, kind of literally. He wakes up in what you gather is a lab, a science lab. There's a tiger. It's a little weird. Doesn't all come clear immediately, but you know, he wakes up in his yellow and blue, his X-Men uniform, and he's definitely fighting off the bad guys, but that's kind of all he knows. He wakes up and he's not quite himself. He doesn't remember who he is, but everyone around him seems to understand But everybody else seems to know who he is, and they're happy to inform him. Not only are they happy to inform him, but they have missions for him. But it's not like it's Professor X, R.I.P. But it's not like it's, you know, somebody with the X-Men or somebody like, hey, this is your mission. It's just normal people who are sort of projecting their idea of who Wolverine is onto Logan, Wolverine. He doesn't know who he is right now. He has the normal sort of ideas that somebody might have: good, bad people are bad, I am strong, I can fight bad people. You know, normal stuff with your adamantium claws and stuff. It's fine. So the first person he runs into in this lab that has clearly been destroyed, a very severe struggle has gone on here, is a scientist named Delacroix. It's really unfortunate that his name is Delacroix because it made me want to pop open a LaCroix, and this is a very tense moment in this comic book. Anyway, Delacroix is talking to Logan and says, you know, it can't be you. It can't be you because they killed you. Who is the they? Soltira, and also a woman named Persephone. Logan's like, I don't know what you're talking about, bub. Get it? Classic Wolverine. Soltira is collecting scientists to do research and bring back extinct things. Now, if you read The Death of Wolverine, spoiler alert, he dies in it. I'm sorry, it's a 4-year-old spoiler alert. So I feel safe telling you that in this space here. But listen, so, you know, he's killed, and Deadpool, also Old Man Steve Rogers, he, you know, they destroy all of Logan's DNA except a little bit. And probably that's going to factor into how Logan was brought back to life. They're bringing back extinct things, so that tiger that I mentioned earlier might be some sort of saber-tooth something. It's possible. While Logan is in the midst of talking to Delacroix, the scientist, not the drink, there's another attack. You know, of course Logan survives it because he has that accelerated healing and all those Wolverine powers that we're all very, very familiar with. And he sort of makes it out of the lab now, and he has sort of a moment with himself, but it seems like Old Man Logan is talking to him through some sort of bad version of Cerebro. I'll be honest, I haven't been keeping up with the Wolverine comics up until this point, basically, so there are people out there who probably know what that is. I tried to give it a Google, but honestly I didn't want to be too spoiled. I just wanted to start on this #1 issue and read it and enjoy it and figure it out. I'm sure that somebody will explain it at some point. Like I said, even though Logan doesn't really know what's going on, he has a strong sense of what's right and what is wrong, and that is what really endeared a lot of people, including me, to Logan. Even though he operates on his own set of morals, they're strong, and he always does what he thinks is right, and that, I appreciate that, Logan. Shout out. So Logan is sort of, he's gonna go meet the devil. Her name is Persephone, and this comic ends with just the most comic indie panel ever. It made me feel like I was reading like an old school superhero comic where it's a call to action. You know that the next issue is going to be action packed, and this one was too. It didn't spend a lot of time sort of explaining what was going on. You could jump right in. This is a #1 issue, so you expect to be able to jump into the storyline, but I didn't have any struggles. It looks like, possibly, according to some stuff I read on the internet, because I'm a journalist, Old Man Logan, Laura Kinney, the Honey Badger, those people, and this reincarnated Wolverine are going to exist in the same realm, and I think that'll be really interesting. I want to see all these characters get together, talk about what's going on, what they've been through, and when will Logan get his memory back. This was a great comic, action-packed. If you like Wolverine, you will like this comic, I think. Some people are real die-hard Wolverine fans, and I won't pretend to speak for you. He's a character who's been around for a long time, but baby, he's back. Sorry, I have allergies. And the second of our 2 comic picks is going to be Olivia Twist by Dark Horse Comics, Berger Books. This appears to be 1 of 4 of like a little mini series on this story, and it is Oliver Twist like you've never seen it. I missed an opportunity to say putting a twist on Oliver Twist, and I'm disappointed in myself. It's set in 2050, first of all, not in sad depression time England. So that's cool. Also, the main character is a girl. Now, I'm very into empowered female leads. I think it's important to have diverse characters, and she's a person of color. So I really love that. Inclusion is important. Like I said, this is Oliver Twist like you've never seen it, except you kind of have. So when you were reading it, it was almost a little nostalgic. I haven't read Oliver Twist, so I'm like not lying because I recognize all these characters, but I just want to let you know that like in high school I never read it, like, but I know about it, okay? You know? I just wanted to preface that before somebody like tries to call me out about it. Okay, I know. Oh no. Anyway, this starts off with Olivia becoming an orphan. Please sir, can I have some more? Because that's the whole crux of the story. If you didn't know that, this video is going to be full of spoilers. So she's an orphan. Her mother was a scientist, and as was her father. This is set in 2050, where it looks like minorities are being forced out of the cities. The city is sort of owned by one person. So Olivia is put to work as all orphans are. Apparently in the future there's some sort of ordinance where robots can't work on robots, because that does sound bad, and also like a weird form of robot cannibalism. But anyways, children are set to work on robots because putting children to work hasn't ever been terrible for us. Anyway, so Olivia and the rest of the orphans, they are all in this one sort of warehouse. There's no privacy. The living conditions are bad. The food is bad. I mean, just think like Annie, except there's no Daddy Warbucks. Shame. When you turn 18, you age out and you're given an apartment, you're given a job with the same company, and you are expected to just go out and live your life even though you've never been out in the real world. So right before Olivia ages out, she suddenly is just sort of overwhelmed by needing to sort of take care of this little boy that she sees in the orphanage. He's being picked on, he's really small, he's very young, and she just has this great sense of duty. And I think that it's really cool, you know, she kind of is frameworked as this normal girl who just, yeah, she just feels really strongly about this. So she scoops up the little boy, they make an escape, and out in the real world, 1, she loses him, and 2, she has this moment because she's never been outside of the orphanage before, which is sad. I had felt feelings. You know, and then she meets the Artful Dodger. Now, if you're familiar with Oliver Twist, you're going to be familiar with a lot of the characters in this Olivia Twist comic book, one of which being the Artful Dodger, who takes her through the city, kind of becomes this sort of leader for her, and takes her to the Esters, which is Olivia Twist's version of that sort of gang of juvenile mischief makers that Oliver Twist ends up joining, that is led by Fagin, the older mischief maker, and Oliver Twist, and she's an older woman, and not quite the 18-year-old teen that Olivia Twist seems to be. So I think that this, telling an older story through this new lens, giving it an update, giving it sort of a gender reboot is really, really interesting, and I think that doing stuff like this is really fun. This is what literature is for, I think. This not only makes Oliver Twist seem approachable, it looks like it will be telling the same story. It looks like it will be having the same sort of morals and, you know, detailing the same sort of life experiences and stuff like that, except through an approachable way. You know, Oliver Twist is a book full of boys, and it's an older book, and I think that youth today, the youths today, you know, might have a hard time approaching something like that, but this is wholly approachable. Not only is it written really well and really interesting, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful to look at, and I think that it's really easy to pick something up like this and be like, oh, I loved that story. Maybe now I'll read Oliver Twist, or maybe I'll pick up other comic books who have done similar things, or, you know, I love reading, and so I'll take it in any form, literature form, comic book form, magazine form, whatever. But I think this is really approachable and really cool for not only a younger audience, but for people like me who never read Oliver Twist but are familiar with it. I would pick this comic up. I will read all 4. I will keep up with this one because it was just really cool. I really liked seeing this sort of old story retold through a cool, hip, new lens. Besides all of the terrible things that happen in what is a near future in this comic that made me feel sweaty. Alright folks, those are my 2 comic picks for this week. We had Return of Wolverine by Marvel Comics and Olivia Twist by Dark Horse Comics, and I will see you again next week. Oh wait, you thought I was done? No, this week I have something special for you. MOSH, the Museum of Science and History here in Jacksonville, has a new exhibit opening called Hall of Heroes. It opens this Saturday, September 22nd, and it is an immersive exhibit that shows you crime fighters, superheroes, and gadgets. It's going to be so cool. They have a media day today, and I'm going, and I'm taking you along with me. So make sure you swing by MOSH and see Hall of Heroes before it leaves. It is a traveling exhibit and it was so cool. Listen, you guys don't want to miss this. Go support your local science museum and check out this exhibit. They have this and so much more. Alright, listen, it's that time where I tell you that I got these comic books at Coliseum of Comics, and I want to be clear that this is not a paid partnership. I just went in and I asked John and Amber, who work at Coliseum of Comics on Park Street in Jacksonville, if every week they would pull comics for me and talk to me a little bit about them, and they've been so nice about it. Listen, they are walking comic encyclopedias. They can help you find something that you should be reading, but you're not for some reason. So go see them, tell them I said hi, and find something that you should be reading, but you're not. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys next week.